You are not falling apart. You are just tired in a way that sleep does not fix. And you have been tired like this for so long, you stopped waiting for it to get better. You just got used to it. Nobody told you to be the strong one. You just became it. Maybe you learned early that someone had to hold things together, and you were the one who did it. And you have been doing it ever since, without anyone asking, without you deciding. And at some point, people stopped asking if you were okay. Not because they stopped caring, but because you were always okay. You made sure of that. And somewhere along the way, always being okay became the most exhausting thing about your life. Sign 1. You cannot receive care without immediately deflecting it. Someone stops, looks at you, really looks at you, and asks how you are doing. The real question, not the passing one. And something in you freezes. Not because you do not know what you feel, but because being looked after feels wrong. Like you are in the wrong seat. Like this is not your role, and you do not know how to play it. So you say you are fine. You move the conversation back to them, so smoothly they do not notice. And part of you is proud of that. And part of you, a quieter part, wishes just once you had not. Someone asked if you needed anything once, and you said no before you even checked. The word came out before the question landed, and then they moved on. And you stood there, realizing you did not give yourself 1 second to find out if that was true. Sign 2. You have started to feel nothing during moments that used to mean something. Someone told you good news, something that a year ago would have made you genuinely happy for them, and you smiled, and you said the right things, and inside nothing moved, just flat quiet where a feeling should have been. And you smiled a little longer to make sure nobody noticed. And honestly, you are tired of your own strength sometimes. Tired of being the one who holds it together. Tired of being okay. And then you feel terrible for thinking that. Because what kind of person gets tired of being needed? Sign 3. You feel guilty every single time you rest. You sit down, and your brain immediately starts the list. Everything waiting. Everyone who needs something. And you keep going. Past the point where you should have stopped. Past the point where anyone else would have. Because rest feels like something you have to earn. And you never quite feel like you have. And here's the part you never say out loud. Part of you does not know how to stop. Not because you cannot, but because being the strong one is the only version of yourself you have known for a long time. And somewhere underneath everything, there is a quiet fear that if you put it down, you would not know who you are without it. Sign 4. You have started to confuse being needed with being loved. Nobody talks about this one, and it is the hardest one to admit. Someone told you recently that they were doing better, that they had figured things out, that they did not really need your help anymore, and you smiled and said you were happy for them. But underneath that, something felt like loss, not relief, loss. And you sat with that for a long time, quietly, not saying it to anyone, just sitting with the strange, uncomfortable truth that someone not needing you felt a little like being left behind. And you started to wonder, when did that happen? When did being needed start to feel like the same thing as being loved? When did you start measuring your worth by how much people depended on you? And what happens to you, to who you are when they stop? Sign 5. You had something that was just yours, and you let it go without making a thing of it. Something you loved, something that had nothing to do with being useful or needed. And slowly you stopped. Not because life got busy, but because somewhere along the way, joy started feeling like something you had to justify. Like your needs could wait, like they could always wait. So you let it go, quietly. And you have not thought about it since, until just now. You do not have to keep going at this pace. You are allowed to put some of it down. Not everything. Not forever. Just enough to breathe. Being strong is not who you are. It is something you learned, because at some point you had to. But you are allowed to unlearn the part that says you have to do it alone. You have been carrying so much for so long, quietly, without asking for anything back. And nobody even knew to thank you for it, but we see it. You have been strong for so long. You forgot that was never supposed to be the whole of you. If this felt like it was written about you, share it with someone who would get it. We have more videos right here. See you in the next one.